This is the prosecution statement for Mount Orgueil, Jersey. Some of the main things that strike me about this case file are as follows. Firstly, the amount of very, very similar experiences spread out through the teams during the course of the night. Let's start with the chapel. There were several people that reported a numbness and a tingling, especially in the face, hands and neck. For one person to report this wouldn't be that unusual, but for several people to report it to such an extreme and in the same places throughout different teams, I find very interesting. Pigs investigator Matt Laker, during his vigil, says that at one point he was struck with some force in the ribs. In the witches' room, various different people all picked up on the spirit of children. I find that slightly unusual, as these rooms are not somewhere that you'd necessarily associate with children. And also, two separate people independently picked up on the spirit of a woman who they both stated had blood running down her face. For one team in the tower, there was a report that one lady had her bottom pinched twice on two separate occasions, and when Pigs investigator Lauren Setters made a remark about it, she then felt something very firmly grab her upper arm. And in the Undercroft, the same two places again and again were pointed out by different teams to have a very uneasy and foreboding feeling to them. Although there wasn't the wealth of EVP clips as there has been on some of the other Pigs investigations, the one that we did get was still very interesting. Also very worth noting was that during our setup, Kieran O'Keefe was watching the CCTV cameras on the projector screen. He mentioned to Tim that he couldn't be sure, but he felt fairly certain that he'd seen a white figure walking past one of the cameras. Now, although we've reviewed this footage, we cannot find any evidence of a figure. But I would say to you that this is very possibly the way that the CCTVs capture images. What is displayed is very close to real time. What is actually captured and stored onto the hard drive is about 1 second in every 2.5 seconds. So there may have been a figure that walked past and just did so during a time that the video camera itself wasn't capturing. I find the tie-ups and the links and the reports of this investigation entirely fascinating, and therefore I urge you to find Mount Orgueil guilty of being haunted.